Courage, strength, and sacrifice, all three are a source of great pride for the men and women in our military and their families. However, an increasing number of them tell us they are not so proud of what they have to do to feed their families.
Food stamp usage among military families more than quadrupled between 2007 and 2013, according to statistics released by the Defense Commissary Agency. Tarek's been taking an in-depth look into this issue and is joining us with what he's found. Tarek.
Mary, it's hard for some people to even wrap their heads around it. How is it possible that men and women who are defending our country are having to resort to food stamps just to put food on the table? The answer is not a simple one because every family is different, but for basic necessities like milk, cheese, meat, bread, food stamps sometimes is the only answer. Duty, honor, country. A motto military men and women live and die by. At a time when Americans are talking about the threat of terror and defense spending, thousands of military families are shy to speak about how they're feeding their families.
The food stamp wise, there's a lot of people on them, believe it or not, that are actually on them, and it kind of was comforting knowing, hey, I'm not the only one in line at a commissary swiping my EBT card.
Lindsay, whose husband deployed 4 times to Iraq and Afghanistan, says even at his E4 Army ranking, her family couldn't afford to make ends meet. Lindsay wasn't working, but instead caring for her 4-year-old daughter with special needs, paying for food, shelter, and growing medical bills on roughly $25,000 a year, which qualified her family for food stamps in 2008.
Financially, a lot of people look down on it. A lot of people think that, oh, the military has a lot of money, you shouldn't be struggling, you shouldn't this, but everybody's situation's different. And there's a lot of families that have children that have health issues, and those health issues are what you're having to pay for, what the military won't pick up.
In 2010, 19,000 military families relied on the federal government SNAP program for food. The next year, in 2011, nearly 21,000 military families used food stamps. And in 2012 and 2013, more than 22,000 families. In 2013 alone, $103 million was spent in commissaries. And just last year, a decrease, but still $84 million spent. The income limits change year to year. In order to qualify for federal assistance in 2015, a family with 2 children must make less than $24,200 a year. Compare that to newly enlisted military pay. An E1 makes roughly $18,500 a year, which, if they're single, they can survive on by eating on base or with support with housing. But according to military experts, the face of newly enlisted recruits has changed. Those headed off to boot camp are no longer 18 years old and single.
Today, I think our younger military members, when they come in many cases married with family members. They certainly have challenges to meet the basic needs, but basic needs may include a cell phone now, may include a car.
Retired Navy Rear Admiral Victor Guillory also points out that some recruits sign up later in life and often leave their civilian jobs behind. This transition presents a financial struggle, but only for a few years, because military pay jumps substantially as the men and women are promoted. Guillory says he saw families struggling financially firsthand while working for the city of Jacksonville as the director of military affairs.
Even one family is one too many. Something has to be done, and not only at the federal level, but communities like Jacksonville, Florida.
To most, Guillory says the financial challenges military families face are invisible. But for agencies like the Navy Marine Corps Relief Society, they encourage transparency.
If someone joins the military at an older age and already has multiple dependents, that subset may qualify for food stamps.
Monica Wood says there aren't as many members of the military on food stamps in Jacksonville because both NAS Jax and Mayport are bases for E2 ranked personnel and up. She says regardless, the military can never pay their men and women enough for what they are ultimately prepared to sacrifice.
I mean, they do put their life on the line. What really can you pay for someone to give up that, you know, or be on the front lines or live in a desert and put their life on the line? What really is the price tag for that?
Some may wonder why Lindsay, the woman featured in this story, didn't get a job to help pay the family expenses. But she told me it would have cost her more to pay for child care than what she could have made. Now, since the promotion of this story airing on News4JAX, we've heard from a lot of families who are on food stamps who tell us they are educated, they work hard, and still can't make ends meet, but they appreciate the assistance they are getting to feed their families. If you are a military family in financial distress, there are a number of local resources available. We put that list together. Just go to news4jax.com and you'll find that list attached to this story. Mary, Tom?